When you love yourself enough, the right person won't arrive as a miracle from the sky. They'll appear quietly, as a mirror reflecting your own becoming. Before that mirror enters your life, you will walk through seasons of ache and awakening. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And yet most of us spend years orbiting everything except our own essence. We fall in love with projections, with the glitter of our own unconscious desires, mistaking them for destiny. But when life begins to strip away what is false, when relationships dissolve, when loneliness presses against your ribs, it is not cruelty. It is the sacred dismantling of illusion. Beneath the noise of striving, there is a pulse that has been waiting to be heard. The quiet hum of your authentic self. Every heartbreak has been a messenger guiding you back to that sound. Every silence, a teacher preparing you for deeper listening. You were never being abandoned. You were being refined. The journey was never toward another. It was always toward you. Comment below, "I am returning home to myself." Let that be your vow, your first act of remembering. Number 1. The mirror of love and the shadow within. Love, when it finally arrives in its truest form, does not dazzle the eyes. It illuminates the dark corridors of the soul. The right person will not complete you. They will reveal the places where you have abandoned yourself. They will not save you from your shadow. They will invite you to dance with it. Jung believed that every relationship is a psychological mirror, reflecting both the light of our potential and the darkness of our unconscious. We fall in love not only with another's beauty, but with the parts of our own being we have refused to see. The tenderness you admire in them is the tenderness you forgot to extend to yourself. The irritation they provoke is the wound you have yet to forgive. Love is not the union of two perfect beings. It is the sacred collision of two evolving souls, both carrying light and shadow, both trembling at the edge of transformation. When you look into the eyes of another, you are looking into the hidden chambers of your own psyche. What you love in them, you awaken in yourself. What you judge in them, you repress in yourself. This is why love can feel both intoxicating and unbearable. It dismantles the walls you built to protect your illusions. To love consciously is to allow the mirror to show you your truth, unfiltered. And if you are courageous enough, you will not turn away when the reflection becomes uncomfortable. You will stay, you will breathe through the tremors of revelation. You will whisper to your own shadow, "You too belong." In that act of radical acceptance, you transmute pain into power, fear into awareness, need into wholeness. Remember, the right person does not enter your life to fill a void. They appear when you have learned to honor your emptiness. They are the echo of your own integration, the external expression of an inner harmony finally found. Comment below, "I honor both my light and my shadow." Because love is not about finding perfection. It is about meeting yourself fully through the reflection of another and finally realizing that what you sought outside has always lived within. Number 2. The sacred loneliness before true connection. Before the right person arrives, there is a silence that feels like exile, a vast, echoing solitude that seems to stretch beyond the edges of your being. But in Jungian psychology, this solitude is not punishment. It is sacred preparation. The soul withdraws from the noise of attachment to hear its own song again. The loneliness you feel is the alchemical chamber where your fragmented pieces are quietly remembering how to belong to each other. We have been taught to escape this stillness, to rush into the warmth of anyone who promises to erase our emptiness. Yet true love, real connection, is born from the courage to remain with yourself when the night feels endless. When you sit in that sacred darkness long enough, something astonishing happens. The loneliness begins to transform. It softens from ache to awareness, from craving to clarity. You start to sense the presence of your own spirit, not as a concept, but as a living companion. This is the moment your energy begins to change, vibrating with authenticity rather than need. You become magnetic, not because you are searching, but because you have stopped running. The soul that is at peace within itself does not chase love, it radiates it. This is the paradox of attraction. When you no longer seek to fill the void, you draw toward you those who are whole within themselves. In your solitude, you are not waiting for someone. You are becoming someone. The one who meets love without losing themselves. The one who can hold another's hand without abandoning their own heart. So when you feel the ache of being alone, remember, it is the sacred fire refining you, not the absence of connection, but the preparation for a deeper one. Comment below, "My solitude is my sanctuary." Let that be your reminder that you are never truly alone. You are simply becoming still enough to meet the divine presence within you, the one who will one day recognize the same sacred light reflected in another's eyes, and know that it was worth every silent night to reach this kind of peace. Number 3. The alchemy of wholeness and attraction. When you begin to love yourself truly and without condition, the energy around you begins to shift in ways that words can barely hold. The world responds differently to a being who no longer begs for love, but embodies it. In Jungian psychology, this is the sacred process of individuation, the merging of all fragmented selves into one luminous whole. It is not perfection that magnetizes the right person, it is authenticity. The energy of wholeness carries a silent frequency that calls forth what resonates with truth. You become like the moon, glowing not because you seek the sun, but because you have learned to reflect your own inner light. This is the alchemy of attraction. You draw not what you desire, but what you are. When you live in self-rejection, you will meet rejection in others. When you live in self-acceptance, you meet recognition, not because the world suddenly changes, but because your perception becomes purified. You begin to see through the eyes of love rather than longing. The right person will not come to fix you. They will be drawn to your wholeness, to the serene gravity of your peace. And yet, this wholeness is not a fortress. It does not close the heart to protect itself. It opens the heart to invite what is true. When you are whole, you no longer attract from need, but from overflow. Love becomes a sacred offering rather than a survival mechanism. Jung wrote that the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. And so it is with conscious love. Two souls, each radiant in their individuality, merging not to lose themselves, but to illuminate each other. The right person will recognize the fragrance of your healed energy because it will smell like home. They will see the beauty of your scars and call them constellations, not flaws. Together, you will not create dependency, but expansion. You will stand as mirrors, reflecting each other's divinity while remaining rooted in your own. Comment below, "I attract from my wholeness, not my wounds." Let this be your vow, to become so complete within yourself that love no longer feels like a rescue, but a celebration of two souls, remembering they are already whole. Number 4, the wounded healer and the power of integration. In every soul's journey, there comes a moment when pain ceases to be an enemy and begins to reveal itself as the very source of wisdom. Jung called this archetype the wounded healer, the one who discovers transformation not by avoiding suffering, but by descending into it with awareness. The wounds you carry are not proof of your weakness. They are portals to your deepest power. Every heartbreak, every rejection, every dark night of the soul has carved within you a sacred space where compassion can bloom. Healing is not the erasure of pain, it is the integration of its message. When you finally stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and begin to ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" you cross the threshold from victimhood to awakening. You begin to see that your suffering was never random, it was initiation. Your tears were holy water, cleansing the illusions that kept you small. The very experiences that once shattered you become the soil in which your authenticity grows. This is the paradox of the psyche. What once felt like destruction was actually creation in disguise. To heal yourself is to gather your scattered fragments, to sit with the parts of you once disowned, and whisper, "You are safe to return." When you do this, your energy begins to harmonize. your light and shadow stop warring and start conversing. The right person will not appear when you have no wounds left, but when you have learned to love them as sacred teachers. For it is through your healed scars that empathy flows, through your vulnerability that connection deepens. The wounded healer loves differently. They do not seek to fix or to save, but to understand and to honor. In love, they do not cling, they witness. They know that real intimacy is not two halves becoming whole, but two wholes meeting with open hearts. Comment below, "My wounds are my wisdom." Say it softly, like a prayer. Because when you finally embrace your pain as part of your story's perfection, you will radiate a strength that feels like peace. And in that peace, the right soul will recognize you, not as someone to heal, but as someone who has already become the healing itself. Number 5, the magnetic field of self-respect. There is a sacred power that awakens the moment you decide to stop begging for love and start embodying your worth. Self-respect is not pride nor arrogance. It is the quiet knowing of your own value. It is the vibration that tells the universe, "I am no longer available for what dishonors my soul." When you walk in self-respect, you no longer chase, you attract. Your very presence begins to speak for you. Jung taught that the outer world mirrors the inner landscape. What you tolerate in yourself determines what you allow from others. When you abandon your own boundaries, life sends people who will echo that abandonment. When you honor your limits, life responds with those who honor them too. This is the magnetic law of resonance. Energy recognizes itself. Self-respect is the aura that protects your energy without the need for walls. It allows love to enter, but only the kind that vibrates in truth. To love yourself enough to walk away from anything that drains your light is not loss. It is liberation. It is saying to the universe, "I choose peace over approval, authenticity over attachment." The right person will feel that energy and rise to meet it, not diminish it. They will sense the sacredness of your boundaries and cherish the strength it takes to uphold them. In their presence, you will not shrink, you will expand. Because self-respect doesn't repel love, it refines it. It filters out the counterfeit connections that thrive on insecurity and invites the rare souls who love from wholeness. When you live with integrity, your energy field becomes pure, uncluttered, magnetic. You no longer manipulate outcomes. You align with them. The right person will be drawn to that frequency, not because they want to possess you, but because they recognize themselves in your sovereignty. Comment below, "My boundaries are sacred." Say it not as defense, but as devotion, to the truth of who you are, to the power that rises when you no longer apologize for your standards. In this energy, you no longer attract chaos disguised as passion. You attract peace that feels like home and love that no longer costs you yourself. Number 6, the dance between souls. When two souls meet from a place of wholeness, love becomes less of a transaction and more of a dance. There is no grasping, no frantic need to be seen, only a graceful exchange of energy, a rhythm born from mutual reverence. Jung believed that true connection awakens both the conscious and the unconscious, allowing the psyche to evolve through intimacy. In this dance, you do not lose yourself. You rediscover parts that only reveal themselves in reflection. The right person will not pull you away from your path, but will move in harmony with it. You will sense it immediately, not as excitement that burns fast, but as calm recognition, the soul's quiet whisper saying, "I know you." This kind of love is not born of fantasy, it is born of presence. Two individuals standing firmly in their individuality, circling each other not to possess, but to understand. Their steps are guided by awareness, their movements by respect. When one falters, the other pauses, allowing balance to return. This is conscious love, a union where both partners grow toward the light without fearing the shadow. It is not perfect, but it is alive, breathing through honesty and empathy. The dance between souls requires patience, humility, and the courage to stay open when fear tempts you to retreat. When love becomes a sacred exchange rather than a battlefield, it transcends time. It becomes art, Two souls painting creation together, stroke by stroke, moment by moment. Comment below, I move with love, not fear. Let that be your affirmation, a vow to remain fluid, aware, and grounded in your truth. Because when love is danced with awareness, it ceases to be possession. It becomes a prayer, an ever-unfolding rhythm where both hearts lead and follow in divine synchrony. Number 7. The dance between souls. When two awakened beings meet, love becomes less of a possession and more of a dance, a sacred exchange of energies moving in rhythm with the divine. Jung believed that the meeting of two souls is never by chance. It is a psychological and spiritual choreography written long before words existed. The right person will not arrive to complete you, but to move with you, each step revealing more of who you already are. In this dance, there is no control, only flow. The ego wants to lead, but the soul knows how to listen. You begin to feel love not as an emotional storm, but as a steady current, strong, patient, infinitely deep. The connection becomes an act of remembrance. Ah, there you are. The mirror my spirit has been whispering about. This love does not cage. It liberates. It allows both souls to expand, to explore, to evolve. You learn that true intimacy is not losing yourself in another, but seeing yourself more clearly through them. The right person will hold space for your shadow and your light, honoring both as sacred parts of your becoming. You will not dance to avoid loneliness. You will dance to celebrate unity. Comment below, I flow with the rhythm of divine connection. Let it be a reminder that love is not about ownership. It is about resonance, movement, trust. In the silence between heartbeats, you will hear the music of the universe reminding you that real love does not take. It teaches. It does not bind. It breathes. And when two conscious souls move together in this awareness, every touch, every word, every glance becomes a step in the eternal dance of awakening, where both remain free yet beautifully entwined in the grace of becoming. Number 8. The union of souls and the death of illusion. When two souls truly unite, something ancient within them dissolves, the illusion of separation. Jung spoke of this as the conjunctio, the sacred marriage of opposites, where masculine and feminine energies within and between beings merge into harmony. This union is not merely romantic, it is alchemical. It burns away the ego's false narratives, the need to possess, to control, to prove, and replaces them with reverence. The right person does not arrive to sustain your illusions, they arrive to dissolve them. They hold up a mirror so clear that all masks fall away. You begin to see yourself without distortion, naked in truth, radiant in vulnerability. This love demands the death of pretense, yet births the resurrection of authenticity. In this depth, there are no roles, no savior, no victim, only two souls meeting in their wholeness, bowing to the divine spark reflected in each other's eyes. The union becomes a meditation, not on permanence, but on presence. Every moment shared is sacred because both understand that love cannot be owned. It can only be honored. The death of illusion is not tragic, it is liberation. When false expectations burn, clarity emerges like gold refined by fire. The right person will not shield you from your truth. They will help you walk into it, hand in hand, fearless and open. Together, you will transcend the ordinary definitions of love and enter the realm of soul recognition, where time feels irrelevant and connection feels eternal. Comment below, I surrender to truth over illusion. Because in the end, love is not about finding another half. It is about merging with the truth of existence itself, where two flames burn not to consume, but to illuminate the sacred beauty of becoming one in consciousness. Number 9. The light after integration. After the long descent into your shadow and the merging of your inner opposites, a new dawn rises quietly within you. It is not the blinding light of euphoria, but the steady flame of self-realization. Jung believed that true enlightenment does not come from imagining figures of light, but from making the darkness conscious. When you have faced your pain, held your fear, and loved the wounded child within, something miraculous happens. The light you sought outside begins to glow from within. This light is wisdom born of experience, compassion shaped by suffering, and peace carved from surrender. You no longer chase love, you emanate it. The right person, when they arrive, will not ignite your light, they will simply recognize it. The attraction will be effortless, not because of chemistry, but because of resonance. Two frequencies aligned in truth cannot help but meet. In this stage, relationships become less about need and more about nourishment. You give not to earn love, but because love flows through you naturally. You no longer fear loss, for you have discovered that your essence is infinite. This is the light after integration, the grace that follows the storm. You live not in avoidance of pain, but in mastery of it. Your joy is quiet, grounded, unshakable. The right person will stand beside you in that light, not to complete you, but to walk with you as an equal traveler of consciousness. Comment below, "I am the light I was searching for." Say it as a remembrance, a mantra of arrival. Because when you become the light, you stop seeking permission to shine. You realize that every experience, every darkness, every longing was leading you here to this radiant moment of truth, where love no longer defines you, but flows from the wholeness you have become. Number 10, the eternal return to the self. In the end, every journey of love leads back to the same sacred destination, the self. The right person, the heartbreaks, the awakenings, all were signposts pointing you inward toward the source of your own divinity. Jung said, "Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens." When you finally look within, you see that love was never missing. It was only misplaced in the illusions of seeking. The eternal return to the self is not isolation. It is communion with the soul's essence, where you realize that every connection you attract is a reflection of your vibration. When you honor yourself, life honors you back. When you choose peace, the universe responds with serenity. The right person will not complete your story. They will join it. Two sovereign beings walking the same path of remembrance. Love becomes an echo of your inner harmony, a reflection of your wholeness. Comment below, "I am whole and love flows through me." Let those words seal your journey, grounding your transformation. And as you sit in this stillness of understanding, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because on Saiga Rhythm, we continue to explore the infinite dance between psychology and spirit, where every ending is simply a deeper return to yourself.